Hey, what's going on? The Talk of Champions. It's Kyle Henderson alongside Andrew Bone. Alabama has landed another commitment. Why don't you break it down, Bone? Give us the backstory on Christian Williams.
Yeah, Christian Williams, one of the one of the top 5 overall players in the state of Alabama in this 2019 recruiting class. Big defensive back, 6'1", about 180, 185 pounds. Very physical. Got great ball skills. Very athletic. We kind of expected him to make an early decision. Grew up an Alabama fan, and Alabama's been very high on his list from day one. And when they extended him that offer, we kind of expected a decision to happen, probably before the summer. And just earlier today on BamaInsider.com, I said something about him announcing a decision likely by this weekend when he came in for the 8A game, and he went ahead and made a decision today, just a few days before the spring game. So kind of gets the ball rolling for this weekend.
Talk about the type of player he is and what does he bring to this class of 2019.
Yeah, just a real physical defense. Very athletic. As I mentioned earlier, great ball skills, good change of direction, very good quickness, good hands. I think he's going to be a cornerback in college. And this gives Alabama 3 defensives in the 2019 class with Brendan Gant and Brandon Turnage. Now, those guys are still taking some visits, so we'll see what happens with those guys. But I think that Alabama's got a shot with some other top defensive backs throughout the country. So we'll see what happens. But I think Alabama plans on signing at least 4 or 5 defensive backs in this year's class.
Alabama lands an in-state commitment. Looks like these guys from the state of Alabama, coming to Alabama. How big is that? How big is that for the program for the class 2019?
Well, I think anytime you get an in-state player, especially from a great program like Daphne, we haven't seen a kid from Daphne commit in a few years. I think the last 2 commitments from Daphne were T.J. Yeldon and Ryan Anderson, and both those guys worked out pretty well in Tuscaloosa, now in the NFL. But Alabama's going to have a great in-state class. They already have some good commitments with Pierce Quick and Paul Tyson. They're going to continue to get some top guys throughout the year. I certainly expect Clay Webb to be a part of Alabama's recruiting class, maybe in Amari Knight. They've got some other top targets that are in-state as well. So I think Alabama's got a chance to have a great in-state year.
We're talking with Andrew Bone of BamaInsider.com. He was just in Atlanta recently. Got a chance to check out Clay Webb and along with Amari Kite. What did you think about both of those guys? What did you see from them?
Well, I liked them a lot. They looked great at the rivals camp. I was kind of nervous that they may not come because of how bad the weather was, but they were able to come out, participate on Sunday, did extremely well. Both earned invites to the 5-Star Challenge this summer. Clay Webb won the overall MVP award. Just had a terrific showing. Worked out at offensive center, and it kind of moved around a little bit. We saw him work out at center. We saw him work out at tackle and guard. He plays tackle for his high school team, but he told me that his head coach moved him into center, and that's where he's going to be playing this fall. That's where Nick Saban wants him to play. So he kind of understands that that's the position most schools want him to play, but still trying to get used to it. But I thought he did an outstanding job, and really impressed with Amari Knight. I thought he had a great showing at the camp. I hadn't had a chance to see him in person yet, especially going up against elite competition, and he had a great showing over in Atlanta. I was really impressed with him, and he earned that invite to the Rivals 5-Star Challenge, like I mentioned.
Bone, as we look forward to the next couple months, next couple weeks, who's next to join this class 2019?
Well, we'll see what happens this weekend. I don't know if anybody else is going to commit this week. You never know what may happen. But you've got Darnell Wright coming into Tuscaloosa this weekend, #1 offensive tackle in the country. I think Alabama's in really good shape with him. Christian Harris, if he makes it back to Tuscaloosa this weekend, keep an eye on that one, because it would mark his 4th visit to Tuscaloosa this year. So I could certainly see him going ahead and jumping on board.
What are your early thoughts before we let you go of this class of 2019? How it's coming together for Alabama?
Well, it's coming together quite nicely, and I think the best is yet to come. I mean, I think there's some guys that haven't made publicly made a decision yet. I think they've got some guys on hold right now that may be announcing soon, and I think they're excited about the way things are going. And I certainly expect them to get back to kind of where they're used to, which is at the top. I don't know if it'll be the #1 recruiting class this year, but I certainly imagine it will challenge for at least the top 3.
Andrew, always a pleasure. What else you got coming up this week? I know, as I mentioned earlier, you were in Atlanta catching up with a lot of prospects. What should we anticipate this week leading up to A-Day?
Yeah, we got some interviews coming out over the next couple of days. Just posted a great interview with Clay Webb. I know our man Chad Simmons did a story with him. Did a video interview talking to him about his overall recruitment. I spoke to him a little bit more about his recent trips to Alabama. And we talked a good bit yesterday about his relationship with Brent Key, Paul Tyson, Pierce Quick. He talked a good bit about that. So, Bama Insider subscribers definitely will want to read that today on the site. I got some other great interviews coming up with guys who are over in Atlanta. Plus, we've got a lot of stuff coming out on the A-Day game, guys that are expected to visit, and we'll have a whole lot of stuff throughout the entire week just leading up to A-Day, because there's obviously a lot of excitement heading into this weekend. So, definitely stay tuned.
Good stuff, Bone. As usual, you can check out BamaInsider.com. We got a ton of content rolling your way on BamaInsider.com, and you can catch it all right there, right now. We're live all the time on BamaInsider.com from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We'll catch you soon. Thanks, Bone. We'll catch up with you soon on the message boards. Talk soon, buddy.